Hey there, and welcome to another episode of the Divorced Woman's Guide podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. As a reminder, don't forget to hit subscribe so you do not miss a single episode. And if you are not already in my Facebook group, go into Facebook and join the Divorce Rehab, where you can access an incredible community and some great content and inspiration from me. So in today's episode, what I want to talk to you guys about is a personal story and journey that I am going through right now. And the reason that it's important for me to share with you guys is because it relates to so many different areas of our life. And the biggest part of it that I know is going to be relatable is in when we decide that we want to get unstuck in a particular area of our life. So many times we run up against all these barriers and we see obstacles along the way. And so many times we just give up and we turn around and we just go back to the way things were. And it's so incredibly defeating. And what I'm hoping today's episode supports you guys in is really seeing the value in accountability, the value in asking for help, because without it, you're going to stay stagnant. And I'm going to give you guys a personal story around that actually has nothing to do with my divorce. So you can see how this applies to other areas of your life. And in fact, it may be happening in other areas of your life that you're not necessarily paying attention to. So here is what I want to share with you guys today. So I have been struggling with my weight since COVID. And it's not because of COVID per se. What ended up happening was, if you guys follow me, you may remember this, but about, oh my goodness, I guess it was about 2 years ago now, I was running outside with my dog and I tripped on the sidewalk and I ended up hurting my ankle. I actually ended up fracturing it. And from that moment forward, the weight just kept staying on and it didn't come off. What ended up happening actually was that even after that fall, about 3 months later, I injured the same ankle in a different place and was back in a cast again. And it has been a really frustrating journey for me because I am somebody who is relatively healthy eater. I work out on the regular. I am always not just walking my dog, but my exercise is really what I need to start my day with because it gets my energy up. It's also where I do a lot of my thinking. It's where I get a lot of my ideas for what I come to you guys with. And it's a must in my life. And so you can imagine that it was really about, I would say, probably 8 months total, where because of those two injuries back to back, I really wasn't able to do much exercise. And I was really stagnant and I felt like I wasn't moving. And it was so incredibly hard. And it actually reminded me of what I felt when I was navigating and trying to get unstuck when I was going through my divorce. And it's funny because I fell into the same pattern, which I did when I was going through my divorce, which was, well, I'm going to figure this out. Well, I'm going to do this weight loss program and I'm going to do this weight loss program and I'm going to sign up for this exercise and nutrition program. And I literally started signing up for all these different programs. Guess what? I started doing that in the beginning as well. And what I realized that I was signing up for those quick fixes. I was signing up for things that I didn't necessarily know was going to work for what it was that I was going through. And I didn't take the time to really ask questions and determine if those were the right fit for me. I just was grasping onto whatever I could take. And typically for me, that was like another book, another podcast, things that were tangible and within reach. And so what I finally decided to do I would say about 2 months ago is I asked for help. I asked a friend who could help me because I wasn't feeling good inside my body. Things just felt off. And I was really looking for somebody more in the holistic space who could help me to figure out what was going on. And lo and behold, my life has changed since. So in the last 2 months, I have done a kidney cleanse, I have done a liver cleanse, and I have also now started on a weight loss program that is very strict in the food that I eat and how much exercise it is that I am doing. And I'm taking supplements. And first and foremost, let me just say that you should always consult your doctor. My doctor actually knows everything that I'm doing. I've consulted with her along the way. And the biggest thing that I should also share is that I also have had very high blood pressure. And it started when my mom took a turn for the worse last year. And it really kind of went into overdrive when she passed away in January. And so my doctor has really been working with me to try to figure out a way to lower my blood pressure and also help me to combat sort of this weight issue. And what I've slowly come to realize is that it wasn't just physical weight. I was carrying around the weight of my trauma around my mom. I was carrying still the weight of some of the trauma that I have been through with my ex-husband and our divorce. And it's not that they were things that were necessarily hanging over my head that were derailing me or debilitating me. But what it was that there was just kind of like this leftover halo, and combined together, it really physically has been impacting my system. It has been impacting my ability to really move towards my goal. And it wasn't until I asked somebody else to weigh in, to see a different perspective than what it was that I was seeing through, right? Because so many times, like, we are our own worst accountability partners. We make excuses. We also, oh, I'm going to have a little cheat day and it's going to be okay. Well, no, it's not okay, right? Because the second that you do that, you completely, just derail yourself off of that process. Now, I'm not saying that you go and berate yourself, but what I'm saying is that it's really helpful to have somebody there to really check in with. And that has been a really important piece for me, is having somebody to just ask questions to, or to just say, like, I am, am I doing this right? Or like, let's be honest, the first week, talk about starvation and hunger and, headaches and all this stuff. And again, let me just say, I am not starving myself, but I am feeding my body different foods. And so it's almost like I was going through this detox of eliminating things out of my system. And the detox phase that we also go through in our divorce healing process is really that time where you stop thinking about the past, right? So I'm essentially putting together the fact that when you're going through your divorce and you're looking at your past and berating yourself for that is similar to how I was eating some foods that were processed and not healthy for me and not fresh, and they weren't serving me, and they were really acting against what it was that my goal was. And so I invite you guys to think about where it is in your life right now that you are self-sabotaging. How is it that you are sabotaging your path? What is getting in the way for you? Because until you really allow yourself to be honest, really get honest with yourself. I had to get really honest with myself, where it was like, yeah, Wendy, maybe let's just cut back on, the bags of chips that you're sneaking out during the day, right? Or let's maybe think about portions and think about your body weight and your height, right? I'm 5'3". I get to think about how much food I put in my body. Plus, I'm also, I'm at that stage now where perimenopausal stuff is coming up too. And so I have to remember that I'm not who I used to be. Okay, listen to this, guys. I'm not who I used to be. I can't process food the same way that I used to. I am not able to, eat the way that I used to, that because my body is changing, because I'm evolving, right? As I'm getting older, I get to shift. And that's the same process that we go through as we're navigating our divorce, right? We get to start paying attention to the adjustments that are happening instead of holding on to and wishing, right? I was eating like I used to be able to process food in my 30s. I can't do that anymore in my mid to late 40s, right? And that's what we do when we're going through divorce. And so what I want to take a stand for you guys around is just really paying attention to what it is that you are doing, what isn't working for you, and having the strength to admit it, acknowledge it, and to do something about it, right? I am proud to say that I have lost 6 pounds and I still have a little ways to go. We have an event for my son in early December. And so I do have a vision and I do have a goal in mind. And I want to feel better, right? That's why I'm doing this. My intention behind my goal is to feel better, to feel good within my skin, because I haven't been feeling well. I haven't been feeling good. And I notice what happens with my attitude and with my energy levels when I'm not honoring what is best for me. So I'm curious to know how today's episode landed for you, what it is that you guys have heard, what's coming up, right? What's going through your mind? I'd love to hear from you. You guys know that I am here to support you the same way that I have received support from so many other people in my tribe. And you guys can email me at wendy@wendysterling.net, or you're welcome to schedule an appointment, contact wendy.com. I hope that today's episode gave you guys a little bit, or at least a nugget of information to help you to think about where it is that you are in your healing process and to get you taking that first step forward with confidence and with trusting yourself. So thank you for tuning in, sending you all so much love, light, and joy as always. Mwah. Bye, everybody.